Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Hi, it's Carly.
Hi, it's Nay. And this is Hotties with the Poddy, a podcast where two close friends casually talk about what's important to them in a non-broadcasty-newsy way.
You got that right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, girl. Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
Okay.
Nay, what is this? What are we doing here?
We are here to be a point of relation and just like a podcast where you can, as a listener, like casually listen to it. Carly listens to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a good handful too. And there's like different types of podcasts out there. Obviously, there's like educational, there's lifestyle, there's like health ones, dating ones, etc. Ours definitely, I would say, goes in like the lifestyle category. So it's more of a casual listen. We're not really on here educating about like a certain type of topic in like a very formal way. It's really just like a talking one. So um, yeah, we're gonna talk about like our experiences, a lot of our opinions and like our outlook on things, our feelings for sure. Um, our feelings for sure. And then yeah, Carly and I care about a lot of things. And like hopefully this is a place where you're like, oh, I care about that too. So I'm gonna listen. And then like when you listen, you're like, LOL, or like that's funny, or like I agree, or maybe I don't agree, and like da 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 da. So yeah.
Exactly.
Anything
I
to add?
I feel the same way. I feel like hopefully we are gonna be people that you can relate to, that you feel like you have shared similar stories. I think Nay and I are gonna share a lot of feelings. Honestly, like I think over our conversations, we've kind of talked about a lot of deep stuff and a lot of core values that we believe in. And every time we talk, I'm like, we should be recording this. So
Yeah.
this is the place where we get to do it now. So I'm excited, and I hope y'all are ready to come along like our little adventure. We are two ladies in our 20s
Got that
trying
right.
trying to like survive the world that we're stuck in. And I'm glad that we get to do it together. So
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here. I'm just excited to do a podcast because I have a lot to say. Carly has a
mhm.
lot of really cool things to say. I talk a lot. In my friendship with Carly, I talk a lot.
I'm a good listener.
She
Um,
is.
so Nate does do a lot of like the feeling, and then I do the little tidbits of like add on important information to whatever she says. But we're cohesive in that way where we just like both are on the same page. Nate just like says whatever I'm thinking anyway. So
Interesting.
do you not agree?
God. That's good to know. I wasn't aware that you like felt that way, but that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I
Carly's a
love to
great
hear.
listener, very supportive.
Thanks.
Yeah. She
Nate's
also has a
supportive
lot of
too.
great things to say. I'm gonna have to watch my mouth on this podcast or else it's no, literally no. Okay. Carly,
Yes.
so how did we meet and how did we get here essentially?
I would love to talk about that. So it's Nay and I met through, we both volunteered at the Student Health Center on campus at UC Santa Cruz when we were going there for undergrad. And I can't remember the like exact moment that I met Nay, but I know that like she was working more with another health focused org as well that was on campus that focused more on like Title IX and helping people who experienced sexual assault and sexual harassment as well. And so I was working, I think we both worked at SHOP on like the sexual health side too. I did a lot of volunteering with like this thing called the Condom Co-op. Um, and there were a couple of other volunteer programs that I did. And so we would be in the office a lot together. And we weren't that close in undergrad, but every time I saw Nay, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute and great.
Oh
Um,
well.
like
Same.
there was my last quarter of school, I would walk from like one side of campus to the other because had like a 15-minute gap in between classes. And I think Nay had like a similar schedule. So every time I'd walk by her, it'd be like,
Interesting.
hi, Nayoung. And she'd be like, hi, Carly. And then we'd go our separate ways and like wouldn't really talk otherwise. But then, and you can interrupt me and like let me know if I'm missing any details or anything.
No,
But
you're not. I didn't. I have like a few recollections of like saying hi to you. But oh my gosh, that's so cute that you remember that. Like,
it made my day, dude, every time I saw you and you said hi, because like we didn't even really know each other that well, but you still like remembered me and it
of
made me feel
course.
important.
Of course.
After I graduated, I went to grad school and then Nay moved back to LA after she graduated and we graduated at two different times. So we didn't really get the chance to connect in undergrad as much. But then during the pandemic, I think once everything started happening, Nay was posting a lot of stuff that I was relating to, and I was posting a lot of stuff that she was relating to. And so we somebody slid into the DMs. I don't remember who did it first, but at some point we
Maybe
can.
me. I have no idea. I just feel
I
like we
know.
would respond sometimes to each
Mm-hmm.
other. An Instagram love story.
It's
Yeah.
truly a boyfriend relationship blooming. Um,
Truly, Carly is literally my partner in crime.
yes, I'm happy to be. Um, so
Grateful.
one of us connected, and at some point we were like, "Hey, we should hang out." And so we did like a socially distanced like hang out, check in at Nays, and like since then we hung out and talked like pretty much every day. Like
Literally.
Nay is the person that has said good morning to me every day for the last year, which I'm so grateful for because like we're both single and I know that in the past, like I'm a serial monogamous. I'm going on a tangent. Sorry about that. But like,
It's totally fine. I think that's kind of what this is for. So no
yeah.
worries.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just really appreciate Nay being there for me overall and like I'm so used to having partners be the person that says good morning. And so it's like really liberating in a way to like have a friend that I feel close enough to text good morning and text good night and like check in. It makes me feel good about like being on my own too.
Absolutely. And I'm happy to support you in that way. And thank you for saying that, of course. I personally don't have much experience having a partner. I've had like one boyfriend.
Hmm.
Shout out to him. I won't name him. I had one boyfriend in high school. So I don't know what it's like to have that type of like support. I know what it's like to have really good friend support, but I think
Hmm.
having partner support can feel different and it's like kind of a different experience. So I'm happy to be there for you. I'm happy to be your partner in crime.
Yes.
And I agree. I think Carly came at a very important time in terms of like Carly coming in to be a friend of mine, I guess, because like she described, we were like friendly acquaintances in college, but we never like hung out or like got to know each other. All I knew was that she was cool because everyone who works at shop is cool, and she was really nice and like took the time to say hi, just like friendly, warm. Yeah, she came at like a very important time because um I really like couldn't have gotten through this year without Carly's support. And I think I've shared variations of that with her. But it's true. It was a very challenging year. Obviously for every single person collectively there were things that came up. And that's just like a broad general statement. So it made a lot of sense. And yeah, feel very grateful for our hangouts, our chats. We've talked about a lot this year, and I
Hmm.
feel like I'm sure like our listeners could like relate to this. Like I'm sure your relationships in general have gotten like richer and deeper this year because we were all kind of like holding each other and essentially making sure that our loved ones were okay in different
Hmm.
ways. At least
Hmm.
that's how it was for me.
No, I agree. I'm so grateful to have had Nay during the pandemic, especially. Like, I'm glad that this was the time that we got to get to know each other better and like become part of our support system because like I needed your essence. I don't even know how to describe it. Like Nay as a person was like a majority of my rock. Like it was like her and my friends that I worked out with, and that was like my entire support system for the pandemic. So I'm really appreciative, and I'm glad that I have her forever now.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Shout out to friendly support. Shout out
Mhm.
to friends who genuinely have your best interests in mind and like loudly and quietly cheer you on,
Mhm.
and are always very mindful of like how you're doing and stuff, in a really compassionate way. I think those types of friends and friendships are very rare to find,
Mhm.
where you feel like you um, like mesh with them in different ways, like
Mhm.
specifically like certain values and the way that they express love for you and stuff like that. So thank you for saying that and sharing. And hose over bros. No, I'm kidding. It's true, but like friends are amazing. Like
Mhm.
we'll do like a friendship episode or something because Carly and I both really value friendship relationships
Mhm.
and stuff. So I had no choice. I've never had a boyfriend or a partner. So, but yeah, my friends fucking rock. Like they're
Mhm.
so cool and smart and amazing and like just so like I almost said cognitive. That's Carly. Carly's very like cerebral. Like she's very empathic and like obviously like knows how to be like expressive and just so understanding and stuff, but she is more cerebral in comparison to me. And by cerebral I mean like more brain oriented. Sometimes I don't use my brain. So
You're using it
there's
today,
that.
girl.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Totally.
Because
I think that we balance each other out really well, which is another reason why I'm like so excited to co-host this podcast with you. Is like you're saying, I feel like I'm short and thoughtful, and you like have a lot of passion and like feelings that you can just openly express, and I really appreciate that. And I think that's our balance, is like we're the opposites that go
yeah.
together.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
A little too passionate sometimes.
Oh
Oh
my
well, but
goodness.
no, but Carly knows how to like hold space like for her friends. And yeah, I just appreciate that. You have that too. I think for me, I just not as reserved about it sometimes. A lot of the times, every day. Okay.
We
But
love a
yes,
person who expresses their feelings, though. At least I do.
I appreciate you saying that.
Mhm.
See, this is why I'm making a hand motion, like yin yang, like that's why.
That's what
But
I was thinking too.
yeah, oh my gosh. Love fest. My face is hot.
Is it?
Is it the ring light or the love? I don't know. Maybe both.
Mm, mm.
Gosh. Okay, might be my turn to answer. I don't know. There's no turns. Okay, we're just chatting. Okay, so goals, vibe, intention, like
Mm.
please elaborate. Please share your thoughts in terms of this podcast. So,
Okay. I don't have too many goals. I think my main goal is that it is listenable and that people can feel like they understand what we're saying a lot of the time and can relate. I think that for me, I like to listen to things that are like kind of funny, but also kind of like serious and maybe make me think about my own life in some way. So I hope that we can maybe make this a balanced podcast about like the funny things that happen to us and also the things that are like pressing that we're thinking about. It's kind of where my brain is at with my intentions. I wouldn't say that I'm a comedian. So I
but
don't
you're kind
think
of
I'm
funny.
am I?
You're funny.
I don't know if I'm gonna be the funny one. I think Nay is gonna have some good jokes in there.
LOL.
But I hope that at least like I could be like a soft person that people can hear and be like, oh yes, I want her to be my friend. I want her to like listen to my stories in the same way. And kind of along with that, Nay and I have talked about maybe wanting this to partially be like an advice type podcast as well.
Yeah.
So if you think that we could hold space for you or could offer some good advice, I'm always happy to um, help you out. And I mean, that's who I am as a person, and that's kind of what I want this podcast to be about if we get the chance to.
Absolutely. Oh, when you said advice, like made me feel really excited. So, yes, if you want Carly and I's input on like a dilemma or challenge, or just want to hear like our hot take on something
Mm-hmm.
on the podcast, like feel free to let us know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go more into like where you can reach us later, but we are reachable, so let us know.
Mm-hmm. Hit us
But
up.
yes, yes, please hit us up. Please. No, I like that you mentioned balance. And Carly's a really good friend. Like this makes sense. And LOL at the comedian part. But I'm trying to think if I have anything to add to what Carly said. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, just like a point of relation and relatability. But I think she like worded it really perfectly. Just like we're going to be addressing more serious things, and sometimes it's going to be serious while like, and there might be some like laughs in there too, but we're also going to talk about like other things, like I don't know, my daily walks, for example. That's not going to be an episode, but like there's just like more lighthearted stuff too. So
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, Carly and I just care about a lot of things. Okay, we care about
Mm-hmm.
like other people, and we care about like the world, we care about each other, and that's kind of like what to expect like as
Mm-hmm.
a listener. And if
Mm-hmm.
you have feedback for us too, just like let us know. If you're like, oh yeah, Nayoung, like what did you mean by this when you said that? Or Nayoung, it wasn't appropriate for you to put a joke there or something, just like let us know. Like I'm pretty open, like and Carly's very open minded, just in general. So, um, yeah, please let us know,
Yeah.
and excited.
Yes. This is an ongoing process that we don't have anything firm. We're kind of doing it on the fly with some ideas of where we want to go and what we want to talk about. But this is just kind of a place for us to share space and hope that you also want to join us in that. We're growing human beings that are learning and open to change. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not like I'm not gonna like talk about this on this episode, but like, yeah, what Carly said. And yeah, growing human beings, definitely not perfect. And yeah, and this podcast is like a um, fun experience, endeavor, project, whatever you'd like to call it. Like for Carly and I, it's kind of like um, an experience that we decided that we're gonna like pick up upon, and then like it's going to be like a shared growth, like kind of fun thing. So
mhm.
nothing around the podcast I would say is like, I don't know, super pressing, like it needs to be done this certain type of way. And like I don't know, earlier when Carly was like, oh sorry, I'm going on a tangent, like that's fine. Like I think that's like what this is for. So um yeah, just painting a quick little word
Mhm.
vomit picture right now, but
And not to say that we're only going to tangent. I feel like Nay and I are good at staying on topic when we want to.
yeah.
But this is just kind of a place for us to express how we're feeling and what's going on and talk about things that we're excited about or think are funny or really care about. And so I'm happy to kind of create that balance in all of the different ways. But I
Absolutely.
hope that you just enjoy whatever comes out of our mouth.
Yes. Yes. Okay. That is the object. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to enjoy everything, but please enjoy most things. Thank you.
Yes. Thank
Appreciate
you. Thank you.
it.
So our podcast is called Hotties with a Poddy. Why did we name it that, Nay? Like what how are we hotties? This is a potty.
Yes. Exactly. Okay, so we are hotties with the potty. Self-explanatory. We're both two hot girls. No, I'm just kidding. Hotties with the potty. Well, first, like when we think of the word hot, there are like different like definitions and like associations that someone can have. But I think when we think of hot, we think of like pertinent, relevant, and also it could be used in unironic ways too on the podcast. So just be aware of that. Carly and I will try to be clear about that so that there's like no discrepancies or like to avoid misunderstanding, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when we're talking about things that are not ironic and a little more serious. That's essentially like the hottie part of like our podcast name. And then Hotties with the Poddy, just talking about, I don't know, like we mentioned earlier, just like things that we feel like are necessary to discuss, and that we feel like would be helpful to share, like our thoughts and opinions on. That's pretty much what I have on my end. How about you,
Mm-hmm.
Carly?
No, I think Nay nailed it in a lot of ways. Like hot has so many different definitions to it. So for me, it's like really about, I mean, first of all, I think we're hot people in general. We're just
Mm-hmm.
hotties.
Mm-hmm.
So
Agreed. We're hot. Gotta.
so definitely that's like point one is like we are attractive human beings and we believe that with this we can shed light on ourselves as well as like hot topics that we want to talk about and want to discuss more.
Absolutely.
I think hotness has a lot of different scales. Like I want to have a conversation today maybe about like what is hot, like some hot things that we think are hot, at least hot at the moment. And hotness changes over time. It's different. Like I think it's a lot of it is dependent on like socially what's going on. Like some stuff can be hot at one time, like what was it in the 70s and
Mm-hmm.
80s, like um hairstyles were very different but those were like hot and so I just think it's interesting to talk about kind of like what's hot right now for us and continue being our hot selves while doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the way you described it. Yes. Hot can evolve and it doesn't have to. And hot can mean different things, like Carly just explained.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
so what is hot for you right now? It could be anything that you feel like you'd like to share.
It's tough to put a name on what is hot and what isn't for me. I think right now feeling is really hot in general, like everybody feeling their emotions and expressing them rather than like keeping them in, um, is a point for me that I really look for and just in general think is hot. Somebody who can communicate, I think too, like not even talking about like who I'm attracted to, but just in general, like that is hot. That's what I'm looking for in everybody that I talk to is like somebody that can express themselves. I think is a hot point. I have to think more on the other ones because there are a ton and they're
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just did a hand motion like Nay does, but
Oh
it's just
God.
what's happening in my head. It's like there's a lot going on. Nay, what's hot for you?
Oh my gosh. I agree with Carly. I think it's feelings are always hot. Like, and again, like she just described, like not even as a point of attraction from me to somebody else, for example. I think feelings are just hot. Like for me, I'm like a pretty feelings based person. So it's always hot for me, like in different ways. It's always there. So feelings for sure. And I agree. I think communication's really hot, very important. I learned,
Mhm.
especially this year, how important it is to, I guess, like be a clear communicator,
Mhm.
and know how to practice verbalizing feelings, like
Mhm.
and just your thoughts in general. So definitely agree. For me, what's hot right now, I think I'm thinking about this past week for me. I feel like it's been hot because I went through a transition professionally. I started a new role at work, and I've just been really enjoying my first week so far. I'm 1 week in, and I feel like I've really enjoyed, conversations I've had with my new supervisor. I feel really assured. And I would say, I'll say this. I think for anyone who is looking to go into a helping field or do like mental health work, I will say it's incredibly important to have a supervisor who's in your corner. It's going to be very important to your mental health and just being able to reach your full potential. So I will say that that's something that I didn't think about when
Mm-hmm.
I guess was first starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I thought I would add that because that's something that I've been thinking about. So that's hot. I think new transitions, new chapters,
Mm-hmm.
and feeling confident in your decisions and your
Mm.
support system is hot.
Wow.
So,
I agree with all of that. It made me think about like having, on top of having supervisors, having like coworkers that really have your back, is so important. I'm finishing up my job too and kind of going on my own transition
mm-hmm.
to like a new place and a new career setting. But my coworkers really had my back during like this period where I was announcing that I was transitioning, and just like checking in and like letting me know that I was important there, and that they're gonna miss me is hot in itself, because it like makes you feel like a special human being. And I think that every human being wants to feel special. Like feeling special in
Yeah.
itself is hot. Um,
Yeah.
so on top of being confident in your decisions and being confident in the choices you're making within the change, I think also having that support system at work, at home, everywhere, that helps remind you that you're special. I mean, and your internal support system too, reminding yourself that you're
Absolutely.
special, because it's the truth. I think that's hot.
Carly saying it's the truth is hot. Every time she says that, I feel like fucking affirmed, and I'm like, yes, it is the truth. Okay, like that's hot. But yes, agreed. Yes, having a support system is so incredibly important to your mental health. And I'm not just saying that as like a catchphrase, like, oh, it's important for your mental health, because I think it's thrown around a lot. Not
Mhm.
even in a bad way, but it's just like a very trendy thing that I
Mhm.
see being thrown around, I guess, and nowadays. Um, but I think like tangibly, like literally having a support system is incredibly important to your well-being and everything. So I
Mhm.
agree with what Carly said, and I'm just really glad that you feel so supported by your soon-to-be former coworkers,
Mhm.
and hopefully you'll, I don't know, stay in touch and continue to maintain those relationships, because those are the people who are going to be rooting for you from near and far. So
Agreed, dude. That's
yeah.
hot. Having people that are rooting for you from far away, like how we were before, even on Instagram, where we would just like respond to each other's posts and things like that. Like I think having a support system that you talk to is important, but what's also hot is like having your acquaintances and people that you don't know as well, like reaching out and letting you know that they support you, like having like a
Absolutely.
layered support system.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I completely agree. It's always not reassuring, but it always just feels good to know. Even if you haven't like talked to somebody or like a friend uh for like a certain amount of time, like just to know that they want to see you succeed and be happy and healthy is always just a very good feeling. And it's very
Mhm.
important.
There are too many things that are hot though. And it's not even about like physical characteristics. Like all we've been talking about is like things in life itself. So there are many layers to it. And maybe Nay and I can talk on another episode more about like attraction and dating and focus more
I
on
would
that.
love to. I would
Yes.
love to.
Yes.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Listeners, don't worry. We'll talk about dating and hot
People that we find hot.
people that we find hot. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. She's taking notes on that.
I literally have a notebook.
I love it.
We were okay. Carly and I, we've already been like planning. We've talked about that we wanted to talk about the topic of dating, but um, this is nothing new. But I'm just writing it down because got to write it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's my explanation. Okay. Um,
Taking notes is hot.
taking notes, it's me all the time. I literally write everything down because
Mm-hmm.
I like to. make sure I can refer back to things in case I forget. So
Makes sense.
logic.
No, that's
Okay.
important. As long as you look at your notes. I take a million notes and then I never look at them again unless like I have to go back to them. Like
Yeah.
if I had a lecture or something that I like really remembered, I can go back from a while ago, but like I take notes at like every meeting I ever have and I never look at them again afterwards.
Yeah, no, sometimes yeah, I don't always refer back to them, but like
Hmm.
depending on like what it's for or something, like what I understand. Sometimes you just
Hmm.
it helps me focus too though. So I think
Hmm.
like even if I don't end up referring back to it, just like taking it in the moment helps me to make sure I stay present. But
Hmm. That makes sense. Like just a little sidetrack instead of like a whole.
yes,
Mm.
instead of oh gosh. Okay. What else, Carly?
Dude, what else is hotter? What else do we want to talk about?
Both.
Both. Um, I think a lot about clothing. Like I don't feel like I can dress myself. So for me, the things that I'm finding hot these days are like people that like really have a sense of style or
Mhm.
like just know what to wear. I need somebody to just tell me what to wear and I will be happy with that. But I like not necessarily I am attracted to people like that, but in general I just find it like so cool that people know how to wear clothes in a way that like suits them.
Absolutely. If you ever want someone to dress you for fun, let me know. I'm no stylist, but like just for funsies.
Okay.
Yes, I appreciate style. I'm no like I'm not somebody who's like particularly interested in like fashion or anything like that, but
Hmm.
I do like to keep up with trends and everything like that. When it comes to dressing yourself, like what are the things that you prioritize?
Comfort. Like
Mhm.
I wear the same clothes over and over again a lot of the time. So for me it's like mostly about like just wearing basics that are comfortable, but
Mhm.
I would love to be more edgy and like stylish. It just like it never feels like it matches. Like I'm a therapist, and I feel like all office therapist clothes like never look good on me. Like I feel like they don't fit me. I feel like I look like a child, and everything that looks like professional is like so
Mhm.
not congruent with who I am. And so it's tough to like look professional but also feel like a little baby. So
Uh,
that's my clothing struggle is like I don't feel, and maybe that's something about like imposter syndrome or like just not really feeling like I'm like fully fit for the job or something like that, like some unconscious stuff
okay.
going into that choice. But like I just don't ever feel like wearing professional clothes is like something that makes me look good.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of like business casual either. But I'm sure you'll find your groove though. Like I think it's fun to like experiment, but also like just perusing online and stuff like that could be
Hmm.
helpful just for inspiration purposes.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm sure you'll find your groove. And I like that you point those things out too, because um yeah, not a fan of like typical professional wear. I mean, I
Hmm.
wear it when I have to and when it's appropriate, but like, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's everyone's favorite just in general. It's really uncomfortable and like, I don't know, it's hard to add like your personal personality and like your own personal spin to
Hmm.
uh, rigid standards. I don't know what to call it, but like,
Hmm.
because professional wear, I feel like it's pretty rigid, but
Hmm.
yeah, you'll find your groove.
Thanks, girl.
Yeah,
Thanks. I might take you up. Maybe we'll post some pictures of outfits that you put together for me as my
I'd be down for that.
friendly
Yeah.
stylist.
Your friendly neighborhood stylist, Nayoung.
Yes. Yes.
Gosh. Yes. Um,
What's
but
something else that's hot, Nay?
something else that's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so earlier I mentioned that I go on walks every day, and
Mm-hmm.
Carly just asked me something else that's hot, and I'm just thinking about like all the hot people that like walk at the park that I walk at every day. there's like a time frame. There is a hot time frame, and we're going to talk about it. And it's from 5:30 to 7:30 every day, like the
Mhm.
sunset time. I don't know who works out in the morning at that park, but like sunset time, if you want to know which park, let me know. I'm not going to tell you the park name unless I know you, but I'm just saying. So that's what comes to mind, unfortunately.
So there's a hot people
Um,
time, is what you're
yes,
saying? Okay.
there's a hot people time. Carly's been to this park with me.
Hmm.
And Carly and I actually recently made business cards because we're both single. And what these business cards essentially are like pickup lines. And so we like made them and we brought them to the park to see like if we wanted to like give them out essentially. And unfortunately, none have been given out at this point in time, but they exist, and I think that they're a fun idea. So if anyone who's listening wants to try that out, like I think it could be a cute idea to give to someone if you think they're cute. So
Totally,
that's my
totally.
tangent.
And the thing is that like I know I'm pretty shy. Um, so for me, it's like important that I at least like have something to say to somebody. Like I'm not gonna walk up to somebody and say like, "Hey, you're hot."
Uh huh.
But I could give them a business card that says like, "Want to get coffee" or something like that with my Instagram or like my phone number or whatever on it, and then they
Yeah.
can decide later if they want to get coffee or not. But I think
Yeah.
it's good for shy girls. It's good for people that want to give out their number quickly and like don't want to do the whole like phone trade thing or like, yeah, I don't know.
I like that you point that out because Carly's more shy than I am, clearly, evidently. Just from listening to this podcast, I'm sure y'all can tell. Yeah, I like get really nervous. Like if I see someone attractive, I get really nervous. So for me, it's the nervous aspect. So I
Mm.
think like that the business card idea is like good for that too. Like if you are someone who gets very anxious or something, like I get hella nervous. Like I can't speak. Like I'm talking right now and I'm like talking like it's like, oh yeah, like da 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 like hot people time at the park. But like put me in that situation in real life, I am mute. I don't say anything. I'm like, oh, that's me. So it's a muscle, like in all seriousness, it's a muscle
Hmm.
that I would like to build more, but I definitely like business cards it is. I
Hmm.
think the courage to give it out is also kind of hard, but
Totally, totally. Literally talking to anybody that you like ever takes
I
courage.
know.
Like,
Speaking to anybody who's attractive, I'm like, sir, or literally everyone's attractive. So I'm like,
I know, I know.
you
It's
just
so
stand
hard.
there. I stand there.
Make eye contact and just like hope that they want to talk to you, and that's it.
Literally.
Yeah. I haven't been to a party in like a year and a half probably. And so I don't even know what it's like to like strike up a conversation with a stranger anymore because I
Yeah,
like
that's why you
only
have
talk to people
to
in
use
my
a business
bubble.
card.
Exactly. You still don't have to have a conversation with them. You just
You
give
give
it
them a
and run away.
yes, run fast.
Run
Like
fast.
I just sprint.
That's
I
hot.
don't run, so I'll walk. I'll speed walk, but God. Okay, Carly. Is there anything else that you'd like to touch upon before we start like wrapping it up and talking about how to like reach us and our social media accounts and
Hmm.
stuff like that?
I think that I just want to like kind of express my gratitude for even you listening to this to begin with. I think that I'm really excited for our podcast in the future, and this one might be a little different than the ones that we have coming out in the future, just because this is like our kind of introduction pod. Like we're just hoping to help you get to know us a little bit more, and I hope that you feel just as excited as we do about what we're making in the future. We're going to talk about relationships, work stuff, future goals, like things that we care about and people that we care about. And so I'm just excited and hopeful that you want to come along this ride with us.
Absolutely. I really appreciate Carly bringing that up. I just want to reiterate just the gratitude. Thank you for listening. And if you ever have like topic suggestions too, feel free to reach us about that too, because we want to, I don't know, be a point of relation, but also like talk about things that you all are thinking about or want to hear our thoughts on. So
Mm-hmm.
just let us know. But thank you for listening. And I look forward to just seeing how this podcast grows and grow in all ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. We can end it out with telling you about all of our different ways that you can reach out to us. I hope to hear from some of you. Just like, say hi at least. And you can feel free to, like and subscribe to our podcast. I know on Spotify, you can follow us. On YouTube, hit that notification bell so you can get to know us more and know when we're posting. And you can find us at a ton of different places. Nay, where can people find us?
People can find us at our email, so hotties with a potty at gmail.com. So
Yes.
that is one place you can reach us. And then you can also just DM us on Instagram or Twitter. And in terms of our handles and our platforms, we're Hotties with a Potty on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So please follow us.
Mm-hmm.
Please like, please comment if you feel inclined. And we're looking forward to hearing from everybody. So
Yes. Yes. And we also have a link tree that has the links to all of these social media, as well as like we're going to be posting some other places that and things that we talk about or things that we think that you could donate to or like causes that we think are really important that we would want our listeners to pay attention to. So keep a lookout for
absolutely.
that.
Yes. And please feel free to send us resources too if you ever feel like there's something that we could post and share on the link tree or on our social media. Feel free to let us know as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for listening. We are excited for what we put out in the future and stay hot.
Stay hot and unbothered. We care for you and we look forward to hearing from you soon.